While he was living rough on the streets of Winnipeg as a teenager, it's unlikely that Tom Jackson ever imagined he would have become a beloved musician or an acclaimed actor.
You must treat yourself with respect.
Or even a member of the Order of Canada. Similar doubts may have crossed his mind in his 30s when he found himself in Toronto, homeless and addicted to cocaine. Yet Tom Jackson is a true survivor. Born on the One Arrow Reserve in Saskatchewan, Tom dropped out of school at 15 and spent 7 years on Winnipeg's back streets. The experience taught him about hunger, gave him the desire to help the less fortunate, and over the years, Tom's concerts have raised millions for food banks across the country and showcased his first love, which is music, and songs that bear witness to the hardships of everyday life.
Her midnights are getting older, and her innocence gets colder.
And although Time magazine called him one of Canada's best activists, many of you know him from this.
If I have to go over there to Italy and dress up like a goddamn cigar store Indian, I will. But I want those jobs.
North of 60 ran on CBC for 6 seasons, made him a household name. But when a tragedy hit the set, it sent Tom reeling. Mervyn Goodeagle, a 19-year-old cast member on the show, committed suicide. Tom's response was the Dreamcatchers Tour, a series of workshops across the North that focused on suicide prevention. Now with a new Christmas record and a fundraising tour, Tom's focusing his energies on another important issue, one that for many of us hits close to home. Please welcome Tom Jackson. Hi, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How's things?
Fantastic.
Yeah, you just keep moving along.
Yeah, I say we're, myself and Allison, my wife, and a small little troop of us are starting our journey going across the country on a fundraising tour at Christmas, as we have done for a number of years.
After 20 years of supporting food banks, are you surprised that there is still a need?
No, I'm not. History tells us that there's always been a gap between the haves and the have-nots. Our responsibility as human beings is to try and narrow that gap. And I think for the most part, I acknowledge that what I do is more of a Band-Aid than a long-term solution. But I'm proud to be that Band-Aid. That's okay with me.
We still need Band-Aids, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
This story about the Attawapiskat Reserve, I mean, I suppose you're not surprised.
No. I mean, if we're going to change the world, we have to get engaged. But as you said, we have to do a needs assessment. We can't, from 10,000 feet, assume that we know the answers. The answers are there. I discovered years ago that if you didn't go into the communities and ask the questions, because there is no silver bullet, there is no one answer. There are 600 and some odd First Nation communities in this country, and each one of those communities is onto their own. They're all different. They all have different problems. You might think they have the same problem, but they don't. And if you want to learn about what's going on in those communities, go into those communities and ask the young people. The young people will tell you not only what's wrong, but they'll also tell you what the solution is. It's their doctrine. And once you know that, then you can go and you can find your greatest resource, and you can bring it to that community because you know what to arm yourself with.
Right. But we know that I've heard you say that. So why isn't that being done?
I think we need to put the weight of the lives of our future on the people that we elect in Parliament. We have to say to them, if you don't save the life of my child, if you're not willing to save the life of my child, then I'm not willing to vote for you. And if you can threaten, if you can hold them hostage to their job, to their things they're responsible for why they got in. They got in because they wanted to change the world. Perhaps somewhere along the way they lose that path, but in any event, we got to bring them back home and say, listen, we elected you because we want to see a bright and brilliant future, and we do have a bright and brilliant future in the young lives that we see. Sure. So if you're not willing to save my child's life, I'm not willing to vote for you. And that'll resonate. If every one of you go to your politician and deliver that message, that politician is going to worry about whether he's going to have a job next year. And once he starts worrying about having a job, our prime minister is going to worry about having a job. And I don't mean any disrespect for our political system or our politicians or our prime minister. I don't mean that. My job isn't to be a politician. My job is to help a politician do a better job.
Right. We had Georges Laraque on the show yesterday, and he said a big part of his journey was to help. It was really important to him to defy stereotypes. Is that part of your story?
It is for me personally, but I don't find that I have anything in my life that if somebody came to you and said, you know, I got a little secret on Tom Jackson, believe it. It's true. Yeah. I have no room to stand there and go, listen, I'm against this or against that. But what I can tell you is that I have a recognition and a real bond with poverty.
Yeah.
And my life's blood, my breath, is to fight against that poverty and to help change the quality of life of those who live in it. And that's not just in Ethiopia. It's in this country. It's in places where we wouldn't suspect that our responsibility is that close to us, that there are people living in third world conditions. So we have to really, really work and try and find out what's going on in our world. Because if we can figure out what's going on in our world, we can change the big world.
Just imagine how different your life would have been if you never got off out of your community. You know, when you grew up in that reserve, what do you think your life would have been like if you had not left?
Well, let me be clear. I've spent a very short period of time on my reserve, and I'm very proud of One Arrow. But I didn't spend a lot of time. I don't know how to paddle a canoe. I know a bit about the J-stroke, because I went to camp one year. But I don't know how to paddle. I
don't think that everybody assumes that you know how to build a teepee and paddle a canoe. I just mean.
But I grew up on the streets of Winnipeg, and that's what I know. I mean, I met a lot of people in my situation, but it wasn't that we didn't love each other. We didn't understand love. We probably more greater so than others because the need was greater for companionship. Yeah, maybe I would have been different, but in my world, it's not really. I mean, you hear a lot of cliches about gotta teach people how to fish. Well, I'm kind of doing that now in my world, but I'm not in the trenches. I'm at a level with people trying to get them engaged to create change in their world. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I go out and stand there and hand groceries to people who are in great need. Because I don't do that.
No, but you are out there.
Those who do, and those are the people that I need to support.
Exactly, and that's what you're doing by raising the money. So he's got this Christmas CD. It's got to be fun to go out there and do a Christmas show. It was In the Moon of Wintertime is the name of Tom's Christmas CD. Catch him on tour throughout this glorious nation. If you go to Strombo.com, our website, we run down all the dates where you can see it from, I guess, tomorrow night through December the 19th, and the concerts in support of food banks and community services. It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you.
Tom Jackson, everybody.